whenever he's standing on one, he can teleport to the other one.
Oh.
That was one aspect of the killer that we
right. So kind of like Hag.
To make where like it gives like
so he's gonna slow down when he does it.
Yep. Something that
this is a new map as well.
Obviously. Yeah, the two questions is how do I get map control and how do I get better in a chase?
Yes, exactly. Because actually that wasn't
that looks cool.
that easy to to use in a chase. The way we made it, because whenever you use the portal, you have to charge.
There's a delay, and then you lose visibility for a little moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's not as efficient as the
really confusing.
No, it's for catching up to people, like because the thing is when you're standing on one, you also see the outline of the.
Dude, is that 3 floors?
You have to choose where you want to teleport. The portal you want to teleport to.
Is that 3 floors?
There's also one aspect that we
I don't know.
Like about the Demogorgon is being a beast.
I don't know.
So
it was definitely 2.
We,
it could have been
basement
this upwards.
aspect.
I'm not sure.
And well, it's more like in the second series where like this demo dog, where they
how the hell's Nurse gonna do
way more feral than
I hope
the
it's
big
2.
version. But I thought like,
okay.
Why not like exploring like maybe like a short distance attack, something that will like help you cut the distance and chase and could somewhat help you, but not be too overpowered and develop the character just around this aspect. So we ended up with having like this pounce where the creature, like in the show, opens the tulip mouth, whatever, like the head, and it really scares people, but at the same time gives them the hint.
Really
oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, but it gives them the hint that he's gonna be in your face in a matter of seconds if you don't move away.
Is he just really big and it looks like?
If you press now the attack button, then you'll be.
Oh yeah, okay.
Fast forward.
We were talking about that, an ability what allows you to do that.
Maneuver while you're doing it.
No, exactly. It's straight. You somewhat can maneuver at the end, like just to.
Oh, it goes straight forward.
He has also a slightly wider range cone of damage.
Whoa,
so you have
look at
a
that.
chance to hit the survivor.
Look at that fall
but
onto
on
there.
their side, like they really have to time.
Dude, this map looks really
can
detailed.
escape or avoid the attack, but they really have to time their movement.
They'll have to learn.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
It's like anything.
Yeah.
It's like the nurse jumping at you.
There are a few things like we learn like
it's quite big,
trying
isn't it?
to drop a pallet on the head of the killer when he does that is very hard. So you better drop it before he pounces. Yeah.
You're gonna miss the stun, but you're gonna live.
Yeah, exactly. And if I may connect the map to the Demogorgon, it's great because
there's a lot of corridors.
Interesting.
Yeah, the pouncing
it looks
is
quite
not
big,
easy
right?
to use, but
so when you play it, you're going to be high.
Really help him
so your lunges are going to feel like they're shorter.
The thing is that in the
remember with plague,
that's
going to take some
there's
like getting used
an
to.
overhedge where like a catwalk where survivor can go, and sometimes they just like
so it looks interesting.
Tease the killer whenever he comes in this room. It's just like survivor over there. They cannot do anything. But as the killer, you can go upstairs, and there's like this window floor that you can go on, and you can use your pounce attack to reach them in one shot. It's the first time that happens, like so I was just
wait, what's he saying, guys? I missed the start of that. Is he saying you can go do it through windows?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's good.
A more advanced aspect of the killer, if I may explain. There's the you were referring to the because whenever you
when you hold the pounce,
when you hold your power button, you actually sort of connect to the upside down in this effect, where you can feel your portal, and we made it that if any survivor is within the radius of your portal, you can sense them with the killer instinct aspect. It's a tiny effect that we feel will probably be used by more advanced player, but
can survivors do anything to your portals?
Yes, I was going to that, because why would survivor hang out? Like next to a dead trap. Survivor can on their side, they can interact with the portal and close them. So they can there's a tug of war effect that happens between the killer and the survivor. And the funny thing is that it's really cool for the survivor because they somewhat have a glimpse of what the upside down is whenever they get in contact with those portals.
Oh
so
yeah,
they get the upside down effect on them, and
that's kind of cool.
During that time, they don't hear.
It's got some like particle effects.
So they
are oblivious.
Oblivious, yeah, exactly. What that is.
It takes a real time, but multiple survivors can do it.
Again, we didn't put the disclaimer
it looks
at
like
the beginning.
You want to use 2 survivors.
Every single number, every single
4,
thing that we discuss right now is how it is at the moment.
It should be long. It shouldn't just be instant.
And it's gonna change through the PTB.
You won't be able to use them.
There's usually 1 or 2 iterations during the PTB. So these numbers might not all be valid by that time. They'll be tweaked, and then by the time it releases,
just go up to it.
It's
takes like 2
what
seconds.
it was on the PTB, most likely. So just putting it out there so people remember that. This will already be obsolete by the time you listen to it. Perks. Shall we go with the perks of the Demogorgon?
Perks.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's hear. Is it got a short? Hopefully, Shoresman.
Surge, not Serge. Terrifying.
I vote for Serge.
Summon Serge.
Okay, no, please, do go on. What does that do? When you whack someone and they go down...
Yeah, with your base attack, it's very important. Yeah. When you smack somebody with your base attack...
So it's not going to work with the chainsaw?
No, exactly.
Oh, this one.
Or the pounce of the Demogorgon. If you down somebody with any generators within a certain distance from the...
Have you seen how all the tiers are the exact same?
Will explode.
Oh, the bottom wasn't though.
Like
will this work with Pop Goes the Weasel?
It's a free kick, and also gives like a slight...
I really hope it does, because it'll become a potential perk what is used. If it isn't, people won't use this, I don't think.
Like Survivor, whenever you're in a chase, just don't go in the direction of a gen that is being done, basically.
But as a general rule, it's not a good idea, because you want to leave your friends to do the gens.
But if you want to be an asshole, I guess.
Yeah.
Just
well, then you're giving advice to people who want to be assholes. So
yeah,
sure. Yeah, you hook someone and then you down someone with it. I've said that before.
Confinement?
Yes, exactly. Cruel assholes confinement. So whenever you a survivor pops a gen, all the windows and vault location, not pallet.
35 seconds.
Vault location from a certain radius.
And it's a certain radius from
for all survivors, not the killer.
I honestly feel, I wish I could pause this. I honestly feel it shouldn't be X radius, it should be to do with your heartbeat. Because then you can use distressing different things to try and make your heartbeat bigger. Like, it makes distressing more of a perk what people are going to use.
Like a survivor pops a gen.
Once you pop a gen, the area becomes a lot less safe.
Yes, exactly. It's better than the two.
Interesting.
Or just like pop a gen in the face of the killer. That's like in a shack, for example. Maybe that's not something you want to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
People
hang out
pallet,
until the last minute.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm gonna get away. I have to finish it.
Yeah, and then loop the killer around the shack.
Get to play. It's like
okay. And the third one is called Mind Breaker.
So whenever, exactly. So if you go repair a gen that is under 50% of progression, you'll be affected by the status effect. Exhaustion, exactly. So if you have perk that active based on the exhaustion, you're saying like probably, just when I'm doing gen, but if you have a cooldown on one of those perks, the cooldown is paused. So if you already activate sprint burst, for example, and go repair a gen, then your sprint burst will not
refresh while you do
exactly. And the effect persists for 3 seconds after you leave the repair. So if you...
So that sucks a bit.
Yeah, so if you repair and you see the killer coming your way and you want to like sprint burst whatever, it's not...
You won't get it instantly. But that's if they have the perk, obviously.
Okay. That's very interesting.
Yeah. It helps the killer to close.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving on to the survivors.
We have 2 survivors?
What?
Does it mean we have 6 survivor perks?
Yeah, probably. That's all you see, right? It's perks everywhere. Just perks as far as the eye can see.
You told me like this time we have to make 6. What?
But so the choice of survivors was a long conversation when we started this chapter.
6 perks.
Everybody has their favorite.
First team seems stronger, yeah, I think so.
Oh, it should absolutely be.
The first one has the biggest potential with the pop gens, with pop goes and weasel, but I don't know if they stack. If they stack, that's going to be solid.
From the get-go. Like we sort of did that. It's
going to be solid, so that'll be a solid synergy.
We talked about all the
if they don't stack,
and some of
I don't see that
like already, if you, like Will and Mike and all the other kids, they're kids. We don't want to beat up kids. You don't want the hag to rip kids' kidneys and eat them. No kids. Yeah. So the kids were out. Then Barb is a favorite, but Barb dies. She's not my favorite. And she dies early. Yeah.
We have her glasses in the
Yeah, I saw it too. Yeah, it looked like the stream went a bit weird.
And there's a few things like this that we sort of stroke up the record, but Steve and Nancy is what we ended up with.
Spoilers. And we didn't.
They said they were gone.
At that time, we didn't know what was happening in the last season. And
they're talking about it. And it's probably been out for like, I don't know how long, a month or something. I don't know.
Well, that's it. So when we talked to Netflix about that, and they're like, yeah, it's a good choice. They've got a good arc in this third season. They also directed us a little bit to make sure that we portrayed them in the right way, because obviously, again, we didn't want kids, so they had to be the Steve and Nancy from the third season, even though they may have outfits and moments and things that talk about their history, and they still own those clothes, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the cool part was also we could add the likeness.
The likeness is always a tricky one as far as art goes, because we're creating real people.
I think they did well with the likeness.
Millimeter makes a big difference. Something the shadow.
It's not like specifically exactly, but you definitely can see it.
And you know, hair has always been difficult in our game. It got a lot better in the last couple of years, but
we're still.
But if you're doing Steve. You gotta have hair.
So for Steve, we really wanted to keep his iconic hair.
It definitely looks like him. As I remember.
Some different hairstyles.
I only saw season 1.
Is that like
but I can see it.
Puffs of the Farrah Fawcett spray?
Yeah, Farrah Fawcett. Yeah. So for Steve, we put extra hairspray.
But yeah, it was exciting to actually do 2 survivors this time. So obviously, you know, Ghostface didn't have one. We're allowing ourselves to change the recipe a little bit on what a chapter can be. And these 2 are.
What if there were 2 killers?
So cool.
One time.
And they I think they represent the series very, very well. Yeah. So the likeness was probably the toughest thing on this.
And for me, Nancy I wasn't sure at the beginning because she's very shy, not confident, but we pushed her
can't remember her as much
confident side when she's getting more confident in the show, and then third season she's even more confident, so that was cool. And Steve, well, is just this badass guy that everybody wants to play, and
all right, survivor perks, 6 of them.
He looks better. Yeah, when I see I remember.
How painful was that? It was all right.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, we whenever this time, I think that
one of these perks is going to be a bit busted,
because
I'm sure.
We ended up with like a lot of
the probability is just so high.
Perk.
I'll tell you which one has potential to be.
We're gonna
not more, I don't know.
Next survivor, right? Because we have to
some
make that
good
because
ones.
they're really good. But I said, oh, okay, well, here's the chance to put everything in the same release.
And the thing is, it's 2 very different characters.
Well,
so
exactly. Some of them like fit like when we look at like the sort of character that Steve is and Nancy. Like there's, of course, we could discuss that some of them might not fit 100%, but there was one like each that it fits so much. The character.
The
first
like
one,
let's talk to Steve.
We had to
What's
name
wrong
one
with 6 perks?
Nothing's
really wrong with 6 perks, but there's 6 chances of them doing something
good. Like it's so, of course, like
and you know the devs, right?
It changed throughout the development.
Okay, that's not crazy.
This one, like, it was the idea is that
it's not crazy. It's quite strong as well.
A bit Bill's perk where you see
borrowed
time.
Alright.
Exactly.
It's good for people who want to save.
It's not about.
Wait, is it free floors?
I mean, it's something that you give to
this
others.
This proper looks like it's free floors, man.
So when you unhook a survivor this time, the unhook survivor
that might be
leave
basement
scratch marks and blood trail for 8 seconds. And on your side,
Dude,
you're the lucky bastard who has his aura reveal to the killer for 4 seconds.
But so you see the killer's aura.
Yes.
What it says.
Also, yes, exactly. So it's like, come get me. I'm over there.
And you can.
It seems alright, this book. It's not too crazy. So they're going to say a crazy one. I know they will. They can't help it.
That's great.
Metal Man,
and that,
you know.
I mean, that with borrowed would actually be.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty, like making sure that people live.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need that with borrowed.
Good. So babysitter. The second one is camaraderie.
Yeah.
Which
it's something that was requested from the community, where like a perk that extend the time on the hook, and we weren't sure like. It's something that factors you have to factor the killer in this. Like you just cannot just we'll give 20 seconds more on the hook. It's just like.
So how does this one work?
This one is while you're on the hook and you reach a struggle phase, the perk activate, which means that you're gonna be able to use it only once.
How's that gonna work?
And well, of course, if you escape, none. Well, if you don't get hooked to reach a struggle phase.
That's a bit insane.
Once the hit activates,
with potential.
if any survivor comes within a certain radius of you, at the moment 16 meters, the struggle phase pauses for 14 seconds. So it gives more time for the survivor to maybe distract the killer and make the rescue, exactly. And on the survivor's side, we added that...
that's potential to be quite insane. We need to see him play, but
this guy has...
already.
For a few moments.
Yes, exactly. The killer doesn't see
take your time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it already takes ages for someone to...
Alright, and the last one is Second Wind.
Yeah,
because he does get beat up quite a lot, and he keeps going.
Yeah, that's another one that when we saw like, oh, okay, we have to connect this to Steve in some way. It's so much this character, like pretty much all the season.
So this one activates when you're healing someone.
Yes, exactly. You have to heal one full health state, which means that you can do a bit here, a bit there, but you'll see the progression once you have the full heal. Yeah, the perk activate.
Does it trigger when the state changes, or do you have to heal for 100%? So if someone else
right, so as soon as you're outside of the terror radius, you actually heal just passively.
Help you.
Wow.
So you have to heal enough by yourself to fill one full bar.
That's going to make it where the survivors don't have to waste time healing you.
So you have to take a number of specific charge, which equal one survivor.
Yeah, that's
similar to the daily ritual that you have. And once the perk is activated, the next time you are
but you are broken.
You're gonna
when you first jump
the,
out.
Broken status effect. And while you're outside the terror radius of the killer, the perk heals you over time, and after 20 seconds you'll be fully healed. It's an instant heal. It's not an actual healing progress. Just make sure you understand that. It's just like and because you're broken, nobody else can help you during that time. You can just
go and do a gen and then it just boom.
Yes, exactly.
Get healed at some point.
Exactly. Go repair a gen or find a chest, whatever.
That's a very interesting one, but it's essentially a second chance also.
Yes,
so that's pretty good.
And when you lose the broken, when the perk heals you up, obviously you lose.
You go back to normal.
You lose the
that
broken
we've
state.
borrowed.
Okay.
And if you are broken before the perk activate, this perk will never activate until you get rid of the original broken. Obviously,
so it doesn't work with...
I'm thinking with borrowed.
If you're already sick, for example, from the plague,
because that'll be a 2-3 hit down with borrowed, using that.
Okay.
What about borrowed and DS? You don't need DS with it.
Nancy, the first one is better together. So when you work on a gen, you reveal the gen aura to, not your aura, the gen's aura to other survivor in a certain radius.
Okay.
And while you repair the gen, if the killer downs somebody, you see everybody's aura for a few seconds.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The second one I think is
it's
very
for if you wanted them to heal you and stuff.
Yeah,
which I like.
Yeah.
It's called Fixated. And
it's something that, like, I think that especially new players will really enjoy.
Oh.
We try to give a twist.
You can see your own scratch marks. That's really interesting.
Out of it. So it allows you to
really interesting. So that's going to allow survivors to really understand how to manipulate scratch marks. It's going to help the meta of just survivor in general, I think.
For advanced players, it's actually super useful to be able to try to play mind games with the killer.
Because you can cut a corner and try to like drive the killer in one direction. You can clearly see
while uninjured.
On top of that,
you walk faster while uninjured.
20%.
That's kind of
so not only you see your scratch marks, you also walk faster.
Build with sprint bursts, for example, or people who walk a lot. Like it's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah. The last one is called Inner Strength.
That
was one of the, I would say, like in all the 6, that was the one that we got most feedback out of it.
Yeah.
Like, very positive. Like people found it like very interesting. And
walk faster, guys. Yeah.
It's not a simple one.
No, it's not a simple one. And what I like about this one is like it fits also with Nancy's character, where like especially
each time you complete Tom Clancy's hide inside a locker for while injured will fully heal you.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Wait.
So each time you cleanse a totem, it activates the perk.
Okay. And then you can go into a locker and then you fully heal and stuff becomes deactivated as soon
you can get inside a locker to wait for.
So every time you do a totem, you get one of it. Okay. God, these heal ones. It's like the devs don't realize that is part of how to slow the game down as well.
You can survive healing. So even though,
but you do have to use these perks.
You can't stack tokens.
No, exactly. Your damage start, you find a totem, cleanse it, you're gonna get your perk activate.
Next time you get hurt, you just get in a locker. It's like Superman. And get out.
Yeah, and since this perk has been out, like I have difficulty finding totems because it was cleansing them. It's just like.
And then it's gonna make.
So there's a potential that you can have it 5 times in a match. That's if you go for every totem. Most likely not.
Exactly.
You'll probably get it twice
like,
on average.
It's a powerful effect where like just 8 seconds. It's twice faster than
8 seconds is well quick. Yeah.
But the thing is, you're still required to hunt for the totem first, and then find a locker. And it's limited.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
3 people on the map.
Well, you wouldn't hunt for the totem, though, would you? You'd go for a totem randomly. You'd do a gen, you'd get hit. Someone else gets chased. You walk into a locker, you're healed.
When I talk about the map, the last thing I would say was the exit tile.
We changed the exit tile.
Yeah. So we wanted with the exit tile, the level to, when you cross the door, you'll see the upside down world. And I think it's a nice touch because we wanted to be in both worlds, but with time and everything, we figure out that.
But we had to pick our battles. Yes, I mean we can't do everything.
Yeah, I think.
Oh shit! It's getting
this is fun and
annoying.
I think the point where the 2 meets is very powerful.
Can you turn the light on?
I mean, the world of the entity and the upside down and is very interesting because it's 2 takes on the alternate universe. That's a weird reflection. So yeah, it's very interesting to try to mush those together.
It was very risky. I think also that something that you pointed out a lot often, like at the beginning of the production, is like how can we really achieve what they did in the show?
Yeah.
Like because
they're officially dead with the heal perk. They're trying to make it more and more like Survivor Studio. The thing is,
and that's one of the reasons we picked the underground complex.
Okay.
Well, we could have done a few different things. The house would have been interesting.
Super cool, but
it's a little limiting. You'd have to do the neighborhood or something.
Have a lot of woods
the school would have been cool, but it's close to preschool.
But the mall.
The mall would have been a really good one. That was sort of our second choice.
The mall from the new season was
the mall.
Cool, but I think showing the Hawkins lab is
it's
the
much more.
Yeah, they showed the killer parts. They showed everything so far. They've even showed the killer. The killer's looking interesting. Yeah. The lunge thing was something we talked about.
It was fun to play.
Quite interesting.
Like somebody who came talk to me about
depends how far the distance is, but that's really interesting. You can dead hard it as well, thus dead hard still being a ridiculously good exhaustion perk if not the best one.
And then suddenly I meet Nancy, just like the Demogorgon.
So there'll be a bit of a mind game there.
like scared and
where
we
you're
just
looking
ran
behind
away,
you. If you
and
go
then I
for
realized,
lunge, you can dead
holy
hard.
shit, I'm playing a
You'll be able to
Stranger
get
Things
people
game.
when
I'm
they're
not playing Dead by Daylight.
in places
And
that
then
they
I
usually
meet
get to
Ash
fight
and he
if
can
they go
ask me
dead
to
hard as
come
well.
do the checks.
It'd be interesting.
What? Wait, okay. It's that's where
But
we
it's
are
true.
now.
I mean, when you're in that map with those characters and that killer chasing you,
The survivor perks look better
Stranger
unless
Things universe.
the popping gens one can work in synergy with Pop Goes the Weasel.
Yes, that's
then
exactly.
we potentially
We're
have
creating
another
more Kingdom Hearts.
another perk that
Actually, that's
might
getting
be,
close.
actually
So, are you happy with this?
like a lot.
Well, I'm super happy.
Dasher Blue,
to-
thank you for the 100 bits.
to
Like
work
the
on
perks.
that
Spawn, thank you for
license
the
and to
8 months.
to
I'm
do
that
the,
guy, Yor, thank you for the 2 months.
character
Fuji,
level.
thank you
I
for
think
the
it's-
$10.
It's
Nice to
really
sit and
cool.
talk while I
Like,
paid. Thank you for the
it's
head content.
almost
Appreciate it, man.
stupid now.
Fugi as well with
much
a
as we say
1,000
that
bits,
every
if I didn't
time,
say that.
but some of the best
Expensive
stuff
mail
we've
for the
ever
5 bits.
It's
Jim
almost like we're
5.
getting better.
Lee Cubano for the 2 months. Loved your content so much.
Stranger
Stop playing
Things
DVD.
coming
I
to Dead by
yelled
Daylight.
at your wife for
would've
buying
thunk?
all the DLC when she saw the wait. Oh, you got yelled at
On
by the
that
wife.
note, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Yannick. Hope you had a good time. If you have more questions, ask them to each other, because we're gone. Bye.
Well, there you go, guys. There you go. Wait, they didn't say anything about the PTV. No dead servers. Yeah, that's so true. When's PTV? I don't know, Siberian. You ask them. Why are you asking me? I'm not a dev. Mori. They won't show the Mori. They'll show. Well, we'll show it on the PTB. On here. Well, interesting recap, if I can fucking remember. You guys are gonna have to kind of remind me. So we have the first perk. First perk was the gen thing. If synergy with Pop Goes the Weasel, potentially a new 2-set perk which people use. The other one, where it blocks windows and that's it, right? Just windows, right? It just blocks windows. Windows and vaults, but pretty much that's the same thing. Windows and vaults, which are windows. Yeah, there is some which are whatever. Vaults, windows. Potential. It's all around the person you hook, apparently, right? At 32 meter or whatever it said. It's not based on your terror radius, so distressing can't do anything with it. Sadly, it's kind of boring. I don't know how I feel about that one yet. Don't know how I feel about that one yet. Oh, is it gen completion? Gen completion. There you go. That's why. You guys need to tell me. I won't remember all these things. So when a gen's completed, so do you think it's going to be around the survivor, or do you think it's going to be around where the killer is? It's probably around where the survivor is, right? And is there a cooldown to it? I don't think there were there? Good synergy with Tinkerer? Potentially. Potentially. 30-second cooldown? Yeah, it's interesting. 40-second cooldown. Shit, I can't remember it all. It's on the video. Well, you know, I'll be putting this to YouTube. It was on the thing. Yeah, Expedition Sport YouTube. This will be on YouTube if you want to check it again. I'll be putting this up ASAP after the stream. And then what were the other one, guys? What were the third killer perk? That were the one what was so lackluster that I forgot it. Also, let's put desktop audio back to that, and then we'll put alerts on because I just saw that. Pancake Mafia, thank you for the 8 months, and Shadow Monster for the 2 months. Oh yeah, the exhaustion. So when survivors, I can see the lights, whatever. When the survivors go onto a gen which is less than 50% complete, they're exhausted basically, and then they're exhausted for 5 seconds after. Then instantly, are they unexhausted? I think so, right? So then they can straight away use whatever. It's not like normal exhaustion, or is it? I don't think it's like normal exhaustion. Because normal exhaustion is once you're exhausted, you have to wait the whole time. But this time it looks like it's only 3 seconds. So it does give exhaustion, it pauses it. I guess we'll have to see with that. 3 seconds of a normal exhaustion. Yeah, 3 seconds won't do too much. That'll be the weakest one, I think. It's the one where I see the least potential, I think. It'd be interesting using all his adept perks or all his perks in one. Anyway, then now we've got the survivor. It's a fucking potentially really strong ones. I think the strongest one. What would the strongest one be? The strongest one potentially could be no, because he has to be out of the killer radius, so you can follow in him. Maybe the hook one might be the strongest one, potentially, where the hook takes longer by like 45 seconds. Is that per phase? And then when people walk closer, it adds another 14 seconds. That might be the strongest. Healing Lock is very strong too, yeah. Healing Lock is quite solid. It's definitely not a bad perk. And the hook one's quite solid. Might even use the hook one. You pretty much are guaranteed to just never really get one hooked. Right? 40-second unhook. I'm pretty sure it was longer. I thought it said 45 seconds. I guess we'll see once again with that. And once again, if I look back at this, I'll remember that I'm saying everything wrong. The scratch marks one as well, that's going to give people a real understanding of like what they're leaving, and that will eventually, if people do want to, give people a really good understanding as survivor. Like that is going to help people understand the most optimal way to do things, like scratch mark wise, if they want to, which very interesting. Yeah, you can mess around with like lightweight and dance with me, and you can really see like when the scratch marks hit, and fucking hell, you can get crazy data on that shit. That's like a data thing. Like you can get crazy data using that. Very good for new players as well, just to understand the scratch mark thing. And 20% movement while walking, yeah, which could be quite solid. I wonder if that stacks with, no, because it's only walking in it. With urban, I'm going to say. Scratch mark could be counter spirit. What else were they, guys? What else were there? They're the ones I remember the most, but there were others. They were the bodyguard, or the body one. Or the body one where it doesn't allow them to have scratch marks, and it shows where the killer is to the person grabbing them off. That's all right. That you need to still go for good saves, but with borrowed, yeah, borrowed is pretty much a GG anyway. You always get them out. It's an interesting one. That it's gonna be very annoying for the killer if you do use that. There's gonna be so many perks to try and get used to now. Yeah, babysitter, better together. Aura of the Jane you're working on is shown to other survivors. That's more for like people who want to rush. That one. Second wind when you're out of his terror radius. Healing in lockers, we know that. The unhooking one. What else were there? No, the survivor perks seem overly strong. I don't know about that part. There's potential to really break them, I think. The hook one seems the one you could break the most, potentially, depending, like, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. I know that I'll start versing some survivors who know how to abuse something sooner or later. But I think the hook one's going to be insta-heal after unhook after 20 seconds. You have to be out of the terror radius though, Ego. So I think the locker one seems stronger. You get that 5 times potentially as well, the locker. Yeah, 8-second heal in locker with DS. Look how dirty that is, right? You've just got unhooked. You jump straight into a locker. You have DS. If he grabs you, you get DS'd. If he leaves you, you get healed to full to have DS later. Like, that's dirty as fuck. Think about it. You have to think about the synergy. Don't think about the perk as itself. Think about what it works with. That's going to be dirty as fuck. Yeah?
I'm gonna work.
Oh, okay, okay. Shop though, food.
Yeah, but then you can do that. Just quiet me.
Okay, babe.
Love you.
Love you. Anyway, that video will be up on YouTube. Exclamation mark YouTube. Go there. It will be there. All right. I'll actually timestamp it so I can just do this quickly and just put it up for you guys. So, thank you for being here.